it's a little bit warm gray color. So we need white, blue, and we already have this brown to make it gray. I take white, take blue, mix those together. And I need to be careful to take a little bit brown because its dark color can affect and change the value so fast, and then not easy to get rid of that change if we are not happy with that. So little by little, it's always better because you see that you're happy with the tone or value, and then you can change it again with more brownie color or less. I think I'm okay with it. I'm happy with the color. It's so close to the color that I'm interested to find, like that. A little bit lighter so I can add more blue and brown to move it toward a little darker tone. Black is come by just a pure, but for brown, take a little bit and a tiny bit white. Please mix with it to reach the lighter value. Little by little, please add the white color to not see the huge change. This is exactly good for warm, light tone. And then clean the palette knife. We need gray color as well. So take the black and then white color. This cool green and cool gray, and this is warm. So they can mix actually together, would be okay. And we need pure brown, pure black. Let me start with this 4 color first, and if we need to add yellow ochre, we will do it on top. A little more gray. The amount of color that you premix is totally depends on the size of your canvas. So first of all, with small brush, not really big, we need pure black color. I try not to see the eyes. I cover those, it's fine. We will add later on top. Just, this is a C curve. A little bit come out. I try to add this black. Little bit comes up. And then here. Move down. This part, it's the white of the nose and mouth. Here is just a C curve on top here. And then a little bit come out for the face. Even it's on top of the background. So with the tip of your brush, you can make this tiny line as a fur. The animal hair is like that. Tiny, tiny line, bring it out. And don't make the line for separate between the background and the face. Small line, make it more natural. And even this black color we can use under the hat because that's dark as well. Then after that, you can clean the brush. Even for the black part, you can use a small brush stroke. So take heavy paint. Let me take it on an angle. It's more visible, the texture that I mean. You can use small stroke and leave it this paint sit on top like that. That's helpful to look like, after it gets dry, to look like um, the shape of fur that the body is covered. You see how small, and in the colorful it's more visible, not in the black one. But I will do it in black as well to be more. And then apply on top of eyebrow here. I'm okay if it's dark. I will bring white color later and just try to add brush stroke heavily on top of black. If it's move on to the black would be okay. Don't worry about it because even they can blend together and the result it's so lovely. And then move toward this line, the line that you add the black under the hat. And then move on toward the right side of the face with a small stroke. More layers make it more interesting. Even if you see this part is completely white, but when we are accurate on that, we see that under it it's a little bit grayish color, it's visible. So we need to follow and make that gray first, and then we move on with a light tone on top later. So I'm going to add small brush stroke. Even when I'm close to the black, try to do like this. A little bit move toward the black. And from black, move toward gray. More space is a little light gray. And then when we move on toward close to the ear, it's this dark gray. So we can use that one. And add a small stroke close to ear. And then move on to the pure black because close to ear it's more dark. Here, when it's wet, it's good time to move on to the black and let the black color blend into dark gray. And use tiny brush stroke. When you move on toward the background, please do liney like that because of the shape of fur. Pure black again on top of gray with small stroke. When you want to make this texture keep on top of the face, you need to take heavy paint and leave it very gently and not blend it or not pressure in your hand. Even between the eyebrow is a little darker tone. So I'm going to add black in between, but heavy paint and with more texture to separate these two parts of the eyebrow from each other. You can switch to black and brown at the same and gray at the same time. And the other reason that it's good to go with heavy paint is it takes really time to get dry. So it gives you a chance to work more on top. Even when it's happened like this, you can back and take the pure white color, just add some stroke on top of the light gray. If it's mixed together, don't worry about it. It's okay. Again, we can come on top with more white color later. And it's so interesting because we need to make it as a layers and make it heavy. So very gently touch it because I know the first color, which is light gray, it's still wet. And when you bring the pure white on top, it mixed with the others, with the first color. Very gently touch the surface and make the small brush stroke on top. And then the other side, small stroke and heavy paint. Even if you see this part is get dry, look like mine, because you see here, this part is more grayish in between, but this part it's more white because the gray get dry. Doesn't matter. Again, make that light gray. Again, in between, you can bring some lighter gray too. And add a tone here. Then back to pure white and bring it with a small stroke on top and let your paint be more heavy and heavy. Let me bring it close to camera. You see how much texture I have? And very gently I touch my surface. I don't add any pressure on top. So you can repeat this part. And we need a little lighter tone here. Lighter tone, light gray. You can see it has a texture. It's not just pressure and flatly cover it. It's a little bit heavy on top, and I try to touch it to be a little texture to make with brown. And then, because it's heavy, it not dry so fast, you can come and take another color, this one, the light gray. Bring it somewhere in between, like that. Very gently. Imagine you want to touch your hand very gently, loose and gentle, like that. Apply your paint on your canvas like that, not pressure. Then you can see this heavy texture. So move on with gray color between the brown. Very gently add this gray on top. This is a longer brush stroke. Sometimes it's easier than those tiny one. And then it takes time to get dry. We can move on pure white color even and bring it on top because this part of the neck has a little lighter tone. So I bring the white color, gently try to set here. Heavy paint, very gently, help it sit like that. Just long stroke. You need to see one section by section and then move forward. Again, back to this lighter gray, sorry, lighter brown. Move on with the gentle stroke. Heavy paint. Close to that, just take stroke. We need to build it with different tone and colors. So again, back to darker brown. Bring it in between. It's okay if they mix together, doesn't matter. Bring gray on top of lighter tone and let it move very gently on top, like this. And then move on with gray. Play with the colors. These are 6 colors. You need to add one by one on top of the raccoon body and build it. Doesn't matter any part is light. The light can become on top. So I cover all the part with the dark tone. I'm not worried about the light tone on top. You see all, it's dark gray, light gray, dark brown, light brown. Even if you see more warm color, you can bring more brown or less. It's in your hand. If you feel more warm, you can add more stroke in warm color. If you feel cool, bring gray color on top. And it's interesting because heavy paint takes really time to get dry, so you can even bring the white at the end and add some stroke in between on the chest part for a little lighter tone. And you see when I bring white color, use tiny bit stroke to leave it sit on top of the chest. We need to apply with the black color first inside. Here is a little dark. And then clean it with napkin or rag. We need this color, which is warm, around it. A small stroke, bring it around. And now it's so dark. It's so light and separate from the other part. So we need to bring the gray color as well. Move on between this light brown color. Like that. Even the edges on top, it's black as well. So I'm adding black on top. So black inside on top, and then with gray color and this light brown color, cover around it, please. And it's better not let it dry. With white color and the tip of brush, just add some brush stroke as a line like that. Just adding some brush stroke. Even if they mix together, don't be worried, that's fine. And from the other side, some stroke like this. Small and pointy brush. That's so helpful to use pointy brush. And with light gray color, so bring the white color into this gray, make it light a little bit, not pure white, it should be light gray. And dilute your brush into that, like this. And then with the tip of brush, first of all, it's better to start with this part. This part is a little circle-y shape. Just try to draw the circle on here. Even if you make a mistake, don't be worried. You can again back cover it by black and then start make the circle by white color on top. It's not white, it's light gray. So I add a tone here. I'm not cover my circle from top and then bottom. You see, just C curve left side, a little bit bigger C curve on the right side. And then with this creamy color, which is lighter, I add this tiny stroke as a light inside the eye here. Clean the brush with napkin with brown. Add a tone under this eye with the brown. Snowflake around and just pure white color with pointy brush. Add a circle around the background or even a little bit, not circle, like small line. With a pure white, you can spread everywhere randomly. Even you can bring on top of raccoon's body, face, but not much, a little like that. It can be a smaller snowflake sometimes or bigger one. Not all in the same size, is better not to be. For smaller, you need a little tiny brush stroke with the tip very gently. Add a smaller stroke. For bigger one, it's so easy. Just leave your stroke, leave your brush, move everywhere. Just a watery brush. Bring a little water inside your palette and you already have white color. Dilute it into the water and let it be watery brush stroke. With the tip, we need to make 2 whiskers here. So gently, like that. And 2 on the other part. It's interesting to have whiskers. But it should be narrow lines, so be careful for that. Start with the gray color, adding stroke. It doesn't need to be small stroke. Just you can cover it with heavy paint of gray. This part. Adding tone here. It's better to be heavy because when you add heavy paint, it takes time to get dry. So you feel free to do more layers on top. And then this circly part as well, you can add a tone here. Like that. After that, clean the brush with napkin or rag. Just this creamy color. Not creamy, what's this? Brownie, light brown, I mean. 1 or 2 stroke, I don't need to cover it with that. I just need the feeling of warm color. Add 1 or 2 stroke on top. So easily, I don't need to cover a lot. And I need to not let it dry. Bring the pure white color, heavy paint, and let move on top of this gray. In some part, it's dry, so your white color be so shiny. In some case, it mixed with gray and this light brown, and it give us the result that we are search for that. And heavy paint always lovely to shape the puffy that you want. You see, very gently, heavy paint, less pressure. I try to move on everywhere on the